The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. This is the 2024 Midwinter edition of The Local Show. I'm your host, Tom Soccocio Jr., along with my friend and co-host, Steve Roberts. The Local Show features conversations about local businesses. We talk to the business owners, CEOs, CFOs, entrepreneurs, nonprofits, business advocates, and other business-friendly organizations. We learn how they got into business and why they do business right here in Syracuse, New York, and where their businesses might be going in the future. You will hear all about their successes, their challenges, opportunities, marketing, and advertising. We're broadcasting from the Zoey Advertising Studios, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and YouTube? No, not really.
And Tom and Steve.
And
Tom and Steve.
Yes. How are you there, Steve?
I'm doing all right. It finally got cold, Tom.
Yeah, a little bit.
You were announcing you announced it last week that it was officially midwinter,
right,
whatever. And
that's
poof,
right.
And there it is. So thank you.
Because that's what happens. There's no way we're going to get out of it unscathed.
No, I went up last week. I went up to Onondaga Lake at Sylvan Beach. Still wasn't frozen. The fish were not frozen.
Did you try walking across the channel?
I did not. So then I went up to the lock and a little bit, and it was a little exercise early morning, and came up empty, but that's okay. It was sunny. It wasn't snowing.
Yeah.
And it wasn't as cold as it is this week. So,
well, what are you going to do? Midwinter is what it is. It'll be nice when we get things like aquariums built and stuff like that.
How many times are you going to go to an aquarium? You're like, hey, let's go to the aquarium again. I don't know. It seems like kind of a one and done if you're local, doesn't it?
Yeah, well.
I mean, I like fish, but there's that same fish I saw last week. I don't know.
The thing is, people watch fish tanks for hours.
I'm not that kind of people.
I know now. You couldn't do that. No. Well, I don't know. Sometimes
stay there for an hour watching.
It can be mesmerizing, and then you can do other things in your brain. You can exercise calm.
I'm not, Tom, this will shock you, but that's not, not a normal experience for me.
And it's not my normal experience when I'm with you. So
there we go. It fits.
We've got a ton of guests coming up. Some good ones, too. But we'll start with Joe Scripa, owner of the Scripa Group, and then Charlie Van Patten, owner of Mattress Makers, stops by. Kate Flannery is the new executive director of the upstate New York chapters of the Alzheimer's Association. Dr. Warren Hilton is the president of OCC, Onondaga Community College. Sev Ganella will stop by. He's the owner of Clean All. And then John Tomino, we'll have a nice conversation with him. He's the co-founder of In My Father's Kitchen. Bob Griffin is the regional director of the New York State Small Business Development Center. And we'll check in with them. They should be on all the time.
I know. You're right.
If they write us a check for $100,000, they could be part of the show.
Show up all the time.
We'd have him here. We give him his own coffee cup.
We got a deal for them. Yes.
That's right. How you doing there, Joe Scripa?
Doing great, Tom. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm hanging right in there, going to the gym and trying to be healthy this year and get myself back together.
That's great, and it shows, Tom.
Well, thank you.
It shows. And on my side, my doing great is much to your wife's.
Oh, that's right.
To her doing.
You see, I don't ask her where she goes during the day. I forgot she works for you.
She started. That's right. She started in residential real estate sales. Now she's running our office and continuing to do residential sales. She's picked up a couple of clients that she's going to be working with.
Tell everybody what you said, Joe.
Which part?
The part was the part where you said if she can put up with Tom, she can certainly put up with me.
Oh my goodness! I knew that after getting to know you, that it was done. She was
this poor Irish girl gets involved with two Italians throughout her life. What's she gonna do with herself? But she absolutely loves it because she loves the culture and she really, really respects your experience and what you bring to the table in the space.
Well, she's brought great experience in running the office and is improving it very rapidly.
Good.
It's exciting to have somebody there, that can actually, she's licensed, so she can actually talk to people and guide them if they have questions, so she's a great addition to the team.
Is it hard to let go?
On a full-time basis.
Is it hard to let go? Even though somebody's outstanding, is it hard to let it go?
I mean, there's pieces that are hard to let go. It's the micromanagement of the fine inner workings of the deal and making, that last pieces to make sure that it really stabilizes.
Well, you do a variety of things in real estate and commercial real estate and property management that people might not be familiar with.
We do. And actually, a little overview is, we're known for commercial real estate, but we actually do a significant amount of residential real estate. Nikki Bronner has been with me forever. Nikki's been in the business over 10 years now, which mastery, she's got it. Her team is called the CNY Believe and Achieve team. Nikki is nothing less than an achiever.
Right.
And her teammate is Amber Perkins, but we kind of operate as a team. So as Kelly comes on board, Kelly assists Nikki. My son, Alec, assists Nikki. Everybody chips in. We've got another fellow who joined us recently, not new to real estate by any means. And many people out there, I'm sure, eaten at one of his past restaurants, Frankie's Piccolo Bistro, that used to be on Salina Street. Bobby Matrone joined us recently.
I don't know him.
It's probably your cousin.
Yeah, he's our people, Tom. He's our people. Bobby Matrone is a specialist in investment real estate, and he's a great addition. Him and Alec have already done some transactions together, which is cool, and it really starts to round us out and broaden our bench, so to speak, because I then do property management, a lot of advising, and a lot of commercial leasing.
Feels like it was last week when our boys were little, Alec and Joey, and they were shooting hoops in your driveway.
Oh my goodness!
That was about a dozen years ago.
Bunch of little curly hair kids.
Probably a dozen years ago,
yes,
right?
Yeah,
isn't that wild?
Yeah, it is amazing. Yeah, so as Alec's coming up into the business, he's out there doing leases, sales, but our team is broad. We've now covered everything from residential to commercial property management to commercial sales, investment sales, and leasing.
Right. Do you find that people are calling you up asking for commercial property because of the Micron development and anticipating?
We definitely have demand. And what I will say is we definitely have demand due to that from the outside coming in. We have a meeting coming up tomorrow, actually, with a group, a very large development group coming to develop in Syracuse, probably because of Micron.
I don't see anything going on up there. I don't think it's going to happen, Joe. You know what? It's the same sign, same muddy corner. I don't see anything.
It's very close, and I'm going to say the demand, and I'm going to say if you've been sitting on the bench, if somebody's been sitting on the bench thinking about a property, a piece of land that they own, or even a bombed out building in the city of Syracuse. Right now, we're working on a project on Seymour Street. We'll be bringing into the city, which is pretty much taken this whole block. It's really two buildings, and there's maybe 3 or 4 houses across the street, but the 2 buildings are an eyesore. We're going to bring that back to life.
Really?
And that's amazing. So if anybody has something like that and they're sitting on the bench, now's the time. And
now's the time to move.
Now is the time.
It's interesting. There's going to be a lot of development, and I think people are wondering where it's going to be. We interviewed the gal who started Draco's Urgent Care.
Yep.
Yeah, it's right up in your neck of the woods there.
Yep.
And she moved into that Clay building over there, that professional building next to the post office,
Clay
right?
up at Sewell Road, and then in Cicero next to the post office.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think that, like her, she realizes that there's going to be more demand for that. And heck yeah, right? Because if there's more people, obviously more.
I simply say whether it's residential, if you're sitting on the bench, time to sell. If you've got a parcel of land, time to at least start discussing it because the process is long. Nothing happens overnight in the development side.
How can people get a hold of you and my wife?
315-452-1200.
That's a pretty easy number. So 452-1200, have a conversation. kick the tires, figuratively speaking.
Yeah.
And still at scripagroup.com, or have you changed anything? Still Scripa Group?
No changes.
Scripa with a K?
No.
Scripa with a C.
Oh, with a
With a
C,
C,
of course.
yes.
Scripa.
All right. Thanks, Joe. Thanks for being here,
thank
buddy.
you.
Okay. Coming up next, we're going to talk with Charlie Van Patten. He's the owner of Mattress Makers, another great local business. Teach you all about why they do something special in the mattress space right here on The Local Show on 570 WSYR. Stick around.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We're back again on The Local Show. Thank you for joining us. It's Tom and Steve from Zoey Advertising. Zoey Advertising is a full-service advertising company. We help people develop strategies to grow their business. And right now, into the new year, is a good time to take a gut check and say, how much money do we want to make? What do we have to do to be successful? And how can Zoey help? And,
If you own a business and you meet somebody like, I didn't know you guys did that.
Yeah.
I've never heard of you. Well, we can help solve that problem.
right. Yeah.
Right. But I have another problem I need to solve,
Awareness.
Tom.
Now, what's that, buddy?
You are turning into this this amazing, fit, muscle building, sleek guy, and I want to eat whatever I want and be healthy and lose weight. How can we do that?
Oh, you can take all those drugs, the
Okay.
Ozempics and metformin and.
Did you eat?
Yeah.
So at the Super Bowl party over at Greg's, what did you only gnaw on a lamb's leg or something? Or what'd you do?
I brought some wonderful baby back pork ribs that I made with
Like barbecue sauce? Can you have
sugar-free barbecue sauce that was very homemade.
Okay.
And, it was all right. So, yeah, we did that. And
Did you have nachos with it, Tom?
No. Greg made a chili, and that had sausage in it and stuff like that. So that was the first time I've had a bean in like months and months and months.
Okay.
And months. So I had a little it's award-winning chili. He actually won awards with it. So
Oh, my
I
goodness.
thought he was joking, but it really tasted good. So I did that, and that was it. And I'm fine. Like I was just saying to you off air, when you don't have the artificial sweeteners and you don't have carbohydrates as a rule, I'm not talking about carbohydrates like from a yam or something.
Right.
But artificial stuff and prepackaged, you don't crave it.
Like Peeps around Easter time? There's
Yeah,
any
you know.
carbohydrates in those times?
No, none of that. No chips, no things. And the breads and the grains and stuff, people just can't tolerate it. That's why you got, gluten-free everything.
You're my hero, Tom.
Well, I don't know
and we
about
both got that scanny thing there with the Carter.
Yeah, I haven't got mine yet.
Yeah, mine. They scanned it and said, you know what? You're not all stuffed
Yeah,
up
the
with
calcium.
black.
Yeah, the calcium score.
So there's no chance of Stanton's head my way because it looks okay and
Right.
So
Well, that's good. You got to take care of the health. I mean, it's people will say, "Oh, geez, you look good. You this and that." Well, it's a matter of self-preservation. It's not because of vanity or you just got to do what you got to do, right?
but it's always better not carrying extra weight.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and you move better and you're positive, and you can actually smile until I get here.
Speaking of smiling, look who's here.
That's right, Charlie Van Patten, owner of Mattress
sir.
Makers.
How you doing today, guys?
The mattress mogul over here.
Yeah,
so.
speaking of mattress mogul, I was reminiscing the other day with one of my manufacturer reps, and he's about as old as I am. And,
He's a young fella.
We're talking about if we're the two oldest guys in the business, we've made a decision that we've nominated ourselves as the oldest rep and the oldest manufacturer.
Oh, that's something else. Yeah, you've been doing this for quite a long time. Well, you talk about cleaning rugs back in the 30s or 40s?
Oh,
or
no,
what?
1915.
Oh, wow. Back then.
The vacuum cleaner put us into the mattress business.
I see.
We had a company that cleaned the rugs for James Street Mansions, go downtown and pick up the rugs at the Strand Theater at midnight and have them back for the next day for the matinee.
Yeah.
And the vacuum cleaner put us out of business. But fortunately, because in the wintertime in December, and by the way, come on in, we need business. It's slower
Yeah,
and
this
slow.
time of year, sure.
This time of year, yeah.
And there was an unemployed mattress maker because factories closed in the winter. Mattress factories closed.
Oh, I didn't know
And he
that.
said, well, I'll work for you guys. I need work. And he said, by the way, I'm a mattress maker. He said, you're doing all the mansions on James Street. Why don't you do their mattresses too? You're doing their rugs.
You mean clean the mattresses?
Oh, yeah, clean them, right, and recondition them. Well, people didn't buy new mattresses. They had them rebuilt, repicked because they were cotton, silk floss, horsehair, hog hair, and they'd pack down after 2 or 3 years, and you have to fluff them back up.
I see, okay.
And my uncle talks about the chauffeur-driven vehicles pulling up at 433 Hawley Ave to this old wooden building that looked like you-know-what because of the dust and the dirt. And this proper lady would come in and sit down and pick out the new cover for her reconditioned mattress or repicked mattress.
Yeah.
And it was funny. It was really funny.
Yeah, you don't do that anymore, do you?
No. No. It isn't amazing, though, because the industry has gotten the life of the mattress from 20 years down to about 7 years. International Sleep Products Association monitors it. We all belong to it. And they figured out that, and we take the old ones away. Mm-hmm. We send them down to Lake Rock Cut Road, and they keep the mattresses separate. They charge us $15 a piece, by the way.
To dispose of them?
Dispose of them.
Sure.
And you would not believe the huge pile of mattresses there. And then they take one day and they shred them and burn them. They get a lot of energy.
Is there anything more disgusting than old mattresses, Tom? Anybody you're going, you just gotta. So, Mattress Makers, Bridge Street, across from Fleet Feet, behind Henry Wilson Jewelers. What are you making there? What's going on? You have a sale coming too. You mentioned, right?
Well, it's President's Day. Everybody has a sale on President's Day, but we have a better sale because here, first of all, we were talking the other day about our price list. Our price list is 15 years old. Well, you were charging too much then if you can still charge the same price now. No, we've cut our overhead. We've eliminated the factory, 100,000 square feet of factory on James Street, on Thompson Road. We've eliminated a 6,000 square foot showroom on Erie Boulevard. Mm-hmm. We've cut our overhead by over $100,000. And rather than keep raising the prices and taking advantage of the public, we're passing that advantage on.
Well, back then, didn't you primarily sell mattresses to all the mattress stores that we hear all over the place, and then they would mark them up 200 or 300%? Wasn't that your model? Didn't it change from that?
We were a national brand manufacturer with 130 employees, sending out tractor-trailer loads every day. Just mind-boggling what we did. So, we know the industry. We know what's going on, and we know that you got to come and at least look and see what we've got because you'll do better than you do at the store. I mean, we had a customer this week, talk about old mattresses. Well, they're not all old mattresses because this customer bought a mattress in a store in Syracuse that's an internet mattress. So they're all putting them on the floors now in the stores. We got these mattresses from the internet. And they were told, hey, buy it local, support a local company. We'll look it up on the internet. We're the same price. Why shouldn't you buy it from us? Oh, sounds good. They bought it. They expected delivery, but the box showed up on their front porch anyways.
Right.
And then after about a month, they said, this is a lousy mattress. Now, it is a lousy mattress, and I can't tell you what it is, but if you come in the store, I'll tell you what it is. And they went back to the store, and the store said, well, you didn't buy it on the internet. You bought it from us, and our sales are all final sales. You can't get any money back. Talk about being PIS. I mean, these customers spent $1,800.
Wow. That's a lot of money.
They lost $1,800.
Jeez.
This is getting back to the fact that, used mattresses at the dump, they're not all that old.
Right.
We get that all the time.
So give me 30 seconds of why I should buy an organic mattress, or doesn't it matter?
Because it's not like milk. It's not twice the price of regular milk. We're as low or cheaper than conventional mattresses. And you get a clean mattress. And you get a big selection. If you want latex, you want inner spring, whatever you want, you got the selection. Why don't take advantage of it?
What makes it organic? What makes a mattress organic?
Chemicals. Lack of chemicals.
Lack of them. Okay.
Yes. I keep mentioning you guys about, the windshield in your car covered with a film. When you get this organic mattress, you won't get that film in your lungs.
The off-gassing of it?
No off-gassing, right.
I saw a review last week. Couple, you've got a bunch of reviews here lately. And they were saying how great experience it was. I think they were talking about Carol, not you, by the way. It was a process, and they were. I don't know. I'm not quick to write reviews.
Right.
Especially good ones. People, when you get mad, you want to say, but if you go and look at their reviews, people like you and they feel like they're saving money.
Well, we take care of people. We get skids at this Willie Lumber for shipping out of town. And the guy said, I went to this one store and I asked him what the comfort guarantee was. He said, well, we don't do that. And he says, and how long is your comfort guarantee? I said, as long as you own it,
That's a good deal.
That's
so
good.
Mattress Makers across from Fleet Feet, Bridge Street, behind Henry Wilson Jewelers. You have a President's Day sale, so you're knocking money off the normal prices. And there's
Cicero.
one right across the street from Chick-fil-A, Tom.
Excellent. All right. Thank you very much, Charlie. Have a great rest of the day, okay? All right.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Dr. Warren Hilton's coming up next. He's the president of Onondaga Community College. We'll have a great conversation with him next on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
It's the number one cure for the winter blues. It's The Local Show right here on 570 WSYR.
That's not true.
Lots to do
That's
with
not
Tom and
true.
Steve.
That's
Yes.
not true.
The number one cure.
No, it's not.
I read it.
Getting on an airplane and for 3 hours and landing somewhere in Florida is the cure.
Yeah. You're probably going to do that soon. You get away.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to drag it out until April. Our wedding anniversary is coming up.
Very nice.
38-ish. I should probably know exactly.
Yeah,
Wow,
you know,
all right. Nice. Congrats.
1987, whatever the math works out there.
Right.
So we typically do something like that, and we're going to go
They
somewhere.
added that new airline. Remember, we had the guy from the airport on. They added
Right.
the new
Breeze,
Breeze,
right?
is it? Yeah.
But you actually,
And where's it going? Direct to what? No.
I don't even remember.
it goes to St. Petersburg.
Oh, does it?
Well,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, that's nice.
The prices are great, but you got to sit on the wing of the plane
Oh, okay.
unless you take an upgrade.
No big deal.
And then there's a seat charge, and then, so you get a little bit.
You can handle
You
that.
add it all up, and but you know what? It's anywhere. I don't know.
flight.
The cure for winter, Tom.
Yep.
Is when you're me, go somewhere where you
Go
can
someplace
fish,
warm.
and the lure doesn't bounce off the top of the water.
Right from the ice. Well, it's our pleasure to bring back on the show Dr. Warren Hilton. He is the president of Onondaga Community College, and we're so happy to have him here. Thank you, Doctor, for being here.
Well, happy to be here and with one of our newest alumni here, Tom, inspiring people
Thank you.
to do just the same thing. So
Since he graduated, he lost 35 pounds.
Yeah,
Is that
I
right?
did that too. Yeah.
Okay.
I think there's a connection.
we can use that as a marketing and promotion, right? Come
know
to
some people that
OCC,
can help
get a
you.
degree, and you lose 35 pounds,
Well,
right?
you know, I learned how to read, so I was able to read the diet books, you know, that kind of stuff. No, but thank you so much. And you and Ryan Nellenbeck for helping me out and getting that going forward. And yeah, a couple of my buddies saw that story and said, yeah, we're going to finish off too and
Absolutely.
get things done.
Yeah.
You've been here for how long as the
A
president?
little over a year and a half as president of Onondaga Community College. It's been a great time here in Central New York. Really enjoying it, and certainly lots of work to do at the community college.
Sure.
Yeah.
Where did you come from? Let's bring people up to speed as to where you came from and what your professional background is.
I'm originally from the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. Spent much of my life there, and I've worked in 2-year and 4-year institutions in a number of places, and really fell in love with community colleges and what they can provide for our individuals in the community and how they help communities thrive.
Were you ever a teacher?
I was a faculty member, adjunct faculty member at several places along the way. Yes.
Do you have a specialty? Anything that you
I've
are
taught
passionate about?
educational courses and public health courses.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Did you teach Tom math? Because he can't do math.
Math I
Well,
can't do.
I'm not a good math teacher. I can tell you that. I
it's
leave that up to the
genetics.
professionals.
Yeah.
Yes.
Genetics. My daughter has her master's, and she's got all her student teaching out of the way. She's ready to get a job, but she can't pass the math math portion of the certification for New York State.
Math is always tough.
She misses it by 2 points.
Yeah, we're very thankful for all the wonderful math faculty we have at OCC who know how to do that. Yes.
Lots of changes, too, that are happening, and I mean in a good way up there because, before it would be you go up and you get a business degree or, maybe do radio, television like Steve and I and that. But now with Micron coming in and medical going through the roof, them needing medical people and automotive, things like that. Tell us about all the new programs and things.
Yeah, so I think everybody listening can think of a time when, you needed your car fixed and you called, or you needed a procedure, you need to get blood work, whatever the case may be, and you're waiting for weeks. And so even before I got to OCC, our faculty went to work and started developing programs that were in line with what the community needed. And so now things like phlebotomy, home health care, CNA on the healthcare side, surgical technology. And what we're doing is trying to provide these things in a flexible manner. So we'll have an announcement soon about our phlebotomy program. Actually, you can do the majority of it online. So
really,
you won't have to come to campus to do the majority of the program. We have online programs in health information technology, and we're building even more online programs and working with various community colleges. The key here is really about what does the community need, and we try to work in ways to provide it.
It sounds to me like when you go to OCC, you come out and get a job, and you're making money. It's not like the old days where people would come out and I'm going to go bag groceries for a little while.
Well, I would say we do both. So we do. You can come to OCC on your way to a 4-year degree, right? And why is that important? 68% of our graduates last year graduated with no student loan debt. Right. So when you think about that,
that's
you can come get a degree, go transfer to SU, Lemoyne, ESF, or anywhere. Cortland, we have one of our graduates from last year who's on the basketball team at RIT.
Oh, no kidding! Yeah.
And so we do that, but we also do what we call here to career. So you come here, you get a certificate or a degree, and then you move on into a career. So we're doing both. We're staying true to what we've always done, that transfer pathway. And now we're building on that, those direct-to-work programs in various fields. So there'll be some announcements coming out about various, fields like welding. We're endeavoring to, you mentioned auto tech. We want to expand our auto tech program to do heavy equipment and diesel. And so we're really, thinking about what the community needs. And if there's ways that we can provide it, either ourselves or working in partnership with others, then we're gonna do that.
We did the tour of the auto tech, and there's
amazing.
There's some passion up there.
Yes.
So a program like that, is there a waiting list to get in, or how does it? Because it felt like there's a lot of hands-on. You can't, if 500 people show up, you're not going to have room for them all. So how does that work?
Absolutely, yes. So I encourage people to apply sooner rather than later, because some of the programs do fill up. The electromechanical degree program, which everybody calls the Micron program, that filled up a month before the semester started in the fall, and over a month for the spring. And so when we think about that, the sooner you apply, the better. And we continue to figure out ways to, like I said, try to put some of the content online to make it more flexible and not have to deal with some of those constraints in terms of classroom space. Harder to do in a program like auto tech, but hey, if somebody's sitting at home and thinking, I want to get in the healthcare field, I'm working somewhere else, I don't have time to come to campus, we got online programs.
So let's imagine I want to become a phlebotomist. Do I get to practice on Tom?
No.
You said you can do it remotely. I'm just thinking, okay.
You can do the coursework from a distance online, but we coordinate with Upstate Medical, Crowell, St. Joe's, and a number of health professionals. And our faculty oversee what we call the clinical part of that.
How long does it take for someone to? Is that a 2-year thing?
No, phlebotomy you can be done in somewhere less than 2 months. Really?
Really?
The coursework takes about 5 weeks, and then after that, it's really up to you. You got to do 100 blood draws, and once you do that, right, you're certified.
Because you can tell, and Tom, you and I have had enough blood taken, and
sure, yes,
you can tell someone that has got it and someone that doesn't, someone that was trained right and someone that wasn't?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we're excited about those online programs and the ones that are on ground, that we continue to look at how we meet community needs.
Another area that I hear is growing is HVAC. Yes. And do you have that program as well?
We don't have that program now.
Oh,
that's
sorry,
one that that's one that we are endeavoring to build.
Oh, okay.
So hopefully in the next 2 years, we will have an HVAC program, and we're going to focus that most likely on commercial HVAC instead of residential, with all the construction that's going to be going on in central New York.
Absolutely.
So what would you tell someone that says, oh, that Micron thing, it's not going to happen. I don't see any ground being turned over up there. I don't see anything. And you got all these systems and programs. What would you tell someone that would say, oh, I'll believe it when I see it?
Well, I'd say two things. Number one, I don't think Micron would be coming to town as much as they have been if it wasn't going to happen.
Right.
The second thing I would say is, let's just say it's not going to happen, but let's just say Micron doesn't, right? Mm-hmm. You got Wolfspeed, about an hour and 15 minutes from here, Danfoss. You got Infocom right in our own backyard. Mm-hmm. All of these places are hiring people out of that degree program.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
so it's not just for Micron.
It is not just for Micron. Yes, semiconductor advanced manufacturing companies exist right now in
Very nice.
Syracuse area. So, yep.
Oh, do you mind sticking around so we can talk to you some more?
Absolutely.
Okay,
I'm glad
good.
to stick around.
All right, excellent. Then we'll have more conversation with Dr. Warren Hilton. He is the president of Onondaga Community College. We're going to take a break for some commercials, and then we'll be right back on The Local Show on 570 WSYR. Stick around, folks.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back to The Local Show with Tom and Steve. It's a product of Zoey Advertising, where we champion local business, and we're happy to talk about all the different businesses that are around town and to get to know some of the owners, some of the family-owned businesses. Speaking of family-owned, the Men in Kilts did a great job. They kind of reinvented what they do. They do, some house cleaning and window cleaning, and I think they even clean out your gutters and all that. And he said, you know what? There's a lot of snow up here in Syracuse. and, not this year, unfortunately. Yeah. But he said, why don't we do some snow removal too? And when we did have that big swath of snow, they came over and charged me very fair price.
Seems like their legs would get cold.
And they wore the kilts. Is that right? They really did.
I don't know.
They wore the kilts.
Is that the right thing to do? I don't know. Did they have
well, they're men among men.
Stockings on, or
that's a good marketing tool.
That's right.
I don't know.
You got to understand, they got a lot of hair. Those people.
Yeah, the local show with guys on kilt, Thomas with kilts. Let's say no to that.
No, we wouldn't.
But
have
local
kilts.
business, there you go.
But local businesses all over the place.
Adapting and shifting into what's needed. Someone a long time ago said, if you solve a problem, you'll have a business.
That's
there
right.
Yeah, there you go.
See a need, fill a need.
But I won't ask my plow guy to wear a kilt.
No.
I'm glad you got a plow guy, because he's the president, Tom. He's very important. So he has a plow guy.
Warren got.
I just don't like shoveling the snow.
You got lucky coming up here on these mild winters.
You know what? Yes. I like to think that I brought the warm weather.
Yeah. In Philadelphia, how much snow generally do you get?
Oh, very little in the city.
In the city.
In fact, most of the time, if there's more than 4 or 5 inches, the schools close. Everything.
Oh, really?
Everything
Okay.
is really
Is
shut
Philly
down,
one of those cities where they put a plow in the garbage truck and it looks stupid and goes by and you're like, what is that?
They do have the plows on the front of the garbage trucks. Yes, you know
Really?
Philly all too well.
It's like, what is that?
And since it's such an old city, a lot of small streets, so the plows can't even get down those small streets. So hence, 5 inches of snow shuts the city down.
Isn't that something else?
Absolutely.
Did you live in the city, or
in
were
the
you,
city?
Oh, you were. You were right in there.
North, kind of northwest part of the city. Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Have you, since you've been up here, have you had a hoagie or a?
I've had a hoagie and a cheesesteak.
And a cheesesteak, yeah. Can it compare at all?
There's some places that can. There's a place out in Marcellus that has a wonderful cheesesteak. Holy cow! Yeah.
Yeah, chicken riggies.
I love chicken riggies.
'Cause that's an
I do.
up here thing,
I
too.
do love chicken riggies. I haven't gotten into Utica greens yet, but the chicken riggies, yeah.
Oh, Tom
And
can't. Yeah.
I will. The bread up here rivals Philadelphia.
No kidding.
Yeah, the bakeries here.
Yeah.
very
Well,
good.
Tom
Very
loves, but
good.
Tom, you go to bakery a lot now?
Not anymore.
I had to slow down myself. Yeah.
No carbs.
Tom's 100% carnivore.
I love it. I love it.
Well,
You're looking good, Tom.
I
Looking
don't know
good.
about carnivore. Let's be clear on that. I eat the whole animal kingdom.
Okay.
Fish, pork.
That's all carnivore.
Well, some strict carnivores will just do beef, but
That's
I
why
do the
God
whole-
gave you those
that's
bicuspids
right.
to rip the meat. So
I do the whole
it's
thing.
okay.
You'll see me chasing down an antelope or catching a fish. Either
There
way.
you go.
So we were talking about OCC. I think I wanted to talk a little bit about the sports program up there too, because my son shoots some video and some still shots for the local high schools that have all their track meets up there.
Yeah.
SRC is a jewel, huh?
It is. It's a wonderful facility. All of our athletic facilities rival that of Division II and III schools. Some Division I schools in NCAA. So we're very fortunate of that.
Right.
As you mentioned, all of the high school sectionals are there. And we're very thankful. We have 17 varsity sports, over 250 student athletes. I say student first because they do well in the classroom. And we're adding next year. We'll have
Any curling?
no, not curling and not pickleball. All good sports. But we're adding men's and women's wrestling. So we'll have 19 varsity sports. And we're very excited about that. We're excited about our new esports program that started roughly a year ago.
Oh, that's right.
And then competitive cheer we added this year. So
that cheer stuff, that's big time.
yeah, that's like acrobatics and tumbling and all kinds of good stuff there.
I don't
So,
quite get that. I don't know.
Oh wow, yeah, you have to be in shape, man.
I know it is, but it's I don't get it. So years ago, they made me take swimming when I was at OCC. They still do that?
No, there's no swimming class.
not a
It
man.
helps the GPA though, Tom. Because
Well, anything.
But we still encourage physical activity. We do have a YMCA on campus that our students can use, and certainly the community uses.
Can the students use that for free, or do they have to have a student membership? Or
Well, they have to be a student to use it.
there you go.
and their student activity fee covers the cost of it.
Okay, gotcha.
And the Y has been a great partner with us in providing that facility. And then we do some things for our own employee wellness. We do yoga and other things. And various times throughout the semester, we'll do wellness
So hold
days.
on, I got a very important question. here.
Yes.
Do you do yoga?
I haven't gotten into yoga yet.
yeah.
I do some meditation, things like that.
Very nice.
but,
Yoga is like I don't know. Tom, you ever try yoga?
No.
My wife does yoga sometimes. I just
it's good. Everybody that I know that does it says it's wonderful.
Yes.
So, and you got to try, from what I'm told, I've never done it, goat yoga. How about that?
I don't have any idea what that is.
Yeah, you do yoga with goats.
Tom,
No kidding, no.
So
I was interested in that hot yoga, looking for
Hot
something.
yoga does sound good.
I like the taste of goat. I don't know if that helps. I like Indian food. Goat's on the list of things.
Now, they're not going to let you be involved.
Yeah, you can't come there with a spear.
No, not at all.
Have they expanded all the land to like build anything out there? Because I see it growing. It's on the hill up at OCC, and it seems like there's room, but then maybe there's not.
Well, I mean, there is room. We want to be very wise with taxpayer dollars. And so what we've been doing, instead of trying to build out, which costs a lot of money, is renovate what we have. So a lot of people talk about the Micron Clean Room Simulation Laboratory. We're building an HVAC laboratory, a welding laboratory. We're doing it in a space where we already have. We're doing a healthcare project that's going to be we're going to be able to teach our healthcare students in a hospital-like setting.
Oh, very nice.
And so we're doing that in the space that we have to save our taxpayers' dollars. 50% of our operational budget comes from the taxpayers, and we feel strongly that we should use that money wisely.
What do you like to do the most? Because you are like a ball of energy. When you start to talk about the school, you smile, and it's. I know it's not put on.
You seem like an active president. You know, you're not just
that's it, Tom. Not like
sitting in the office like who's the president up there?
I like
knows you.
You guys hit it right on the head. I like to talk to our faculty, our staff, and our students. I like to be out on campus, see what's going on, understand what's going on, and interact. Now, as the president, it's not like I can do that all day.
Right, yeah, you got obligations.
I have other obligations. But yeah, our students are really wonderful, hardworking people. Over 80% of them are working at least 30 hours a week.
No kid, I didn't know that.
Yes,
that's a real statistic.
Real statistic. Yeah. We talked about earlier that they're very conscious about economics. So 68% of our grads graduate with no student loan debt. So I just love spending time. Our faculty are really in tune and want to be with the students and teach the students and help them.
Yeah.
And our staff provide all the wraparound services. We have a food pantry. We have mental health counseling. We have a parent and adult learner suite. We have a children's learning center for student parents who need childcare, right? So all of that makes us who we are as a community college, right?
Wow.
What do you say to a young student who might be still in high school who says, I want to go to a 4-year school, but I don't want to go to OCC. They have a thing in their mind about a 2-year school. My son is in that camp right now, and he says, I want to go to New York University for film and stuff. Yeah. What can you do at OCC? Why would you encourage somebody?
Well, we have the same campus life that 4-year institutions have. We have 4 residence halls, so you can live on campus. We talked about our varsity sports, so you can go to sporting events. We have a pep band that plays at the sporting events. Mm-hmm. We have a musical. We have everything that a 4-year institution would have, right? Yeah. It's a community college, so you can get that affordable education and have that 4-year experience.
Yeah, and I think you get a chance to mature. I think there's
right,
and maybe dial in what you want to do and be on the horizon.
And save the money, like you said.
And save the money. Yeah. And by the way, we have a ton of adult learners on our campus, so those young people coming will be in classrooms with older folks, so they'll get that networking that we know is very important.
Very nice.
Awesome.
Well, Dr. Warren Hilton, I can't say enough about you, and I really mean that. I'm not just trying to blow smoke. You do a great job up there. President of Onondaga Community College. Great to have you in our community. Thank you. All right. Coming up next, we're going to kick off hour number 2 of the local show, and we're going to have conversations with Sev Ganella. He's the owner of Clean All in Syracuse. And then John Tomino, co-founder of In My Father's Kitchen, and Bob Griffin is the regional director of the New York State Small Business Development Center, which is up at OCC. Stick around. Hour number 2 of the local show starts really soon.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
It's the show everybody goes to when there's nothing else to do. It's the local show right here with Tom and Steve. How you doing, folks?
It's the winner, right?
Yeah. Well, welcome back and welcome in. This is hour number 2 of the local show. Get ready for engaging interviews with Sev Ganella, owner of Clean All here in Syracuse, and John Tomino, co-founder of In My Father's Kitchen. Bob Griffin will round us out. He's the regional director of the New York State Small Business Development.
It's a mouthful.
New York. It's New York.
New York State Small Business Development. It's a mouthful.
Center, yes. And there you go. That'll all be coming up here in hour number 2. Sev Ganella's first. How are you there, buddy?
Not too bad. How are you guys?
Good, real good. So, a lot of people know you as the chlorine guy, having lots of chlorine and taking care of pools. But what do you do in the wintertime? I mean, it's just...
We do a lot of pool work in the wintertime, believe it or not.
Indoor pools?
Indoor pools, yes, definitely.
Okay.
We're just working on a couple of pools for the city of Syracuse.
Okay.
Onondaga Park Pool, we're replacing that whole filtration system over the winter. Yeah,
and you can do that from the inside or the outside?
No, it's all inside. Their pump room is heated.
Oh,
so
nice.
It's nice work. We've got months to do it, take our time to do it. It was a big job for us, probably one of our biggest jobs this season.
Great.
Wow.
Are there any residential indoor pools around Syracuse that people call you about?
I know of about 10 or 12 of them we've looked at over the years.
Are they in your neighborhood, Tom?
They should be. Yes.
The biggest problem with indoor pools is getting the humidity out of the room.
Yeah.
And there's been some people that built the pools and they don't really take care of the humidity problem. And within a year or 2, you have mold in the walls. But if you have a good dehumidifying system, which is important, the pools are great.
Yeah, that'd be great to have one inside. Yeah, you've arrived when you have a pool inside there. Like a rap star.
There. So how do if I'm traveling and I decide to take a swim in a hotel pool, how do I know that they know how much chlorine to put in there or not put in there?
Health department regulates it. They have to test the pool 3 times a day. They have to keep a log.
Wait. So some random exit 212 on some interstate that's a nothing special hotel.
The Starry Night Motel in
They have to
Oshkosh.
inspect their pool 3 times a day.
Yes.
Really?
Can I tell you it gets done all the time? Absolutely not. I've looked at records many times where you see the log that says the pH was 7.4, 7.4, 7.4, 7.4, 7.4. It's never always 7. So they're just writing it. For the most part, if the water looks clear, looks clean, it's clean, you can assume that the chlorine level's up. Hot tubs are another story. Really, people should be draining in the hotel atmosphere, draining their hot tubs, once a month. And I'm not sure that gets done. Maybe a couple times a month, depending on usage.
Do you swim at hotel pools and use hot tubs, or are you like a little skeeved out?
Is that a 2-part question? Answer one part at a time. Do I swim in hotel pools? Absolutely. Do I go in hotel hot tubs? Not so much.
Because you know too much.
Sometimes.
Yeah, right. So why don't we give a little history of what Clean All is all about and what you do over there and how we got around to pools.
So fast forward to chlorine. So 100 years ago, my great-grandmother and grandfather were selling bleach door-to-door on the north side.
Literally 100 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bleach is chlorine.
Yeah.
Full-strength chlorine for pools is 15%. Bleach, household bleach, is 5%. So we get tankers of chlorine. My great-grandmother and grandfather would cut it and put it in glass bottles and deliver door-to-door. And a lot of things took place over the course of the 100 years. And now where we're at today is I run and own Clean All CNY, and we deliver chlorine to all sorts of industries. We package it, sell wholesale, retail.
So some people use the chlorine for cleaning.
Sure.
Yeah, not just for pools.
Yeah, we package liquid chlorine bleach, 5%, sell it all over New York State.
Right. Do you make the tablets too?
Do
or
not make anything powdered or anything tablet form.
Okay.
So just deal with all liquid. We have a pool store on the corner of Erie Boulevard and Geddes, right near the corner.
Is that seasonally open, or is that open all the time?
Open year round.
Okay. So people are going to, another month or so, go, all right, I should start about thinking about opening the pool.
Absolutely.
Are there right practices, wrong practices? What's like the dumbest thing people always do and waste money?
Can you open it up too early, I guess?
Yeah, that's a great question too.
So in the pool world, when you close your pool, put your pool to bed for the winter, you want to have the chlorine level up when it finally gets to about 45 degrees outside. When the water is about 45 degrees, chlorine doesn't dissipate, doesn't use up, it stays in the pool. So if you close your pool too early, that chlorine that's been sitting in there in the fall dissipates, and then you don't have any chlorine residual for the spring.
Is that what makes green?
Yes. No chlorine makes green. Now, the issue that's going to happen this year is we haven't had a deep freeze. So that chlorine, which is gone if you didn't have enough when you closed it, is going to start creating a lot of green in the spring early. So we're going to get tons of calls with, oh my God, my pool's a mess. What happened? Well, chlorine. So with the pools that you have now with the safety covers, the trampoline covers, you could pull those back in the spring and get chlorine in there and get things circulated before you officially open it up.
Oh, you kind of cheat.
Right, exactly.
How do you know how much to put in?
10 parts per million. Typical in-ground pool, about 5 gallons of chlorine. Above ground, maybe 2.5 gallons of chlorine. And you can keep that cover on until you want to open it after the spring. Keep that circulated, but not take off the cover.
What's shocking the pool? I don't know pool. Like, we got to shock the pool. What does that even mean?
Well, you going in with a bathing suit.
or no bathing suit.
That'd be a shocker.
Officially, it means raising the chlorine level to 10 parts per million. So that means putting enough chlorine in to bring it up to a level that will disinfect things if things get in the pool, feces or whatever. So in the commercial world, there's a process by that takes place. In the residential world, shocking just means adding a bunch of chlorine to shock the pool, to give it a chlorine boost to get rid of a lot of
and that'll dissipate. Some of that chlorine dissipates, so it's not too much for you.
Right.
The skin.
Yeah, and when we're in the store talking, when people come in and say, how much chlorine should I put in the pool? You can't measure algae. So, Steve, you could have 50 pounds of algae. You could have 5 pounds. If you both put 5 gallons of chlorine in, you've gotten rid of all yours, Tom, and then you still have 40 pounds of algae left. You got to keep that chlorine level up at the high side of your test kit until your water's where you want it to be, and then bring it back down.
How would it, go ahead.
I was going to say, talk to us about hot tubs. You know, I imagine a lot of people have hot tubs around Syracuse.
Absolutely. Yeah. Tell people when we're talking about hot tubs and new owners is to keep a log of what you do with your water. Every time you use it, get out, put some kind of shock or chlorine booster in, and write down what you do to adjust those things like pH, alkaline, chlorine, because it's such a small body of water. You could put 1 tablespoon of pH increaser in or a tablespoon and a half, and then it goes the complete other way. So if you start keeping a log, after a couple months, you'll go, okay, my pH is this. I look at my log. Last time I do 2 teaspoons, that's what I do. And that takes it.
What if you use it a lot, like, you know, 4 or 5 days a week, your hot tub? Right. Do you constantly have to put chemicals in it after every use?
Right. So what I do is maintain a level with bromine or tablet chlorine. And then when you use it, your body naturally is going to use up some of that chlorine in there. So you replace that with a shock every time you use it. And it could be just a half a tablespoon, but you want to figure out that regimen so that you use it, you put it in, leave the cover open for 10 or 15 minutes after you put chlorine or a chemical in the hot tub, because when you cover the hot tub, that chemical reaction creates a fume and it eats away at the cover. So whenever you put chemicals in your hot tub and you put the pump on to circulate it, leave it open for 10 minutes.
Do you ever want a hot tub, Tom?
I do. Yeah,
You got
I've
space
thought
for
about
it back there.
Yeah. I could put one back there, and you know, just for therapeutic use. Well, what concerns me is the chemicals in there. Do they go through your skin? Are you ruining yourself metabolically?
No, not at all. You're putting chemicals in to keep things like it was a pool or anything
Okay.
else. You know, you have a residual. You know, your water you drink has a residual chlorine, not high. Pools are a lot more sanitary than the water you drink if you talk about chemical clarification, chemical sanitation.
Yeah, you got a great spot off the back there, Tom. That you could put it right there.
It's a thought. I doubt it'll ever happen, but you know, it's a thought. For sure.
I'll just show up without you expecting it and be out there bubbling away.
Where's the hot tub, Tom? So tell us then, people should get a hold of you how?
Phone 472-9189, area code 315, or cleanallcmy.com, our website.
And that's all year. That's how you don't pop up. And so if they have questions, you're the expert in the space.
And you have other chemicals there too, like for automotive and things like that?
Automotive supply chemicals, other cleaning supply chemicals.
Great. Sounds great. Sev, thank you for being in the community. We appreciate your small business.
Yeah, thank you for the time.
Or small, semi-large.
There you go.
All right. John Tomato stops by next. He's the co-owner of In My Father's Kitchen. Stick around for that conversation on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
And we're back again. That means you are too. Thanks for joining us on The Local Show. It's Tom and Steve. If you want to see what we look like and what our guests look like and the process of the show, which means you're really bored, go to YouTube and check it out. YouTube, you can just look up Zoey Advertising. It's at Zoey Advertising. And see all the videos that we have and some of the guests that we've had on before.
So you're going to get a hot tub? You know, that was, I'm picturing you and Kelly out there bubbling, blah, 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 you know, looking at your neighbor's pool. So you couldn't figure a pool out, but a hot tub, you know, a lot simpler than a pool.
Yeah. I don't know. I doubt it. There's too many things to pay for.
Yeah. Could you stop and relax and do it if you had it?
Oh yeah, I would.
Okay.
Well, I would use it therapeutically. Yeah, absolutely. Because I pick things up and put them down in the gym,
right?
And they're heavy things. So I oftentimes, well, as you get older, of course, I don't have a lot of joint issues, but like I hurt my the plantar fasciitis,
right.
where I was working my calves pretty hard, and then I couldn't walk for 2 days.
That would be good for working out. That's why that is true.
You go inside there, you let it, the therapeutic bath, bubbles and everything. That's good. Anyway, but I doubt that's going to happen. Like I say, there's lots to pay for. There's no end to that.
No, there isn't. That's for sure.
John Tomino is with us right now. Always a pleasure to have him, co-founder of In My Father's Kitchen. How are you, buddy?
Hey, guys. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on again.
Yeah, well, it's always great to have you, and we want to raise awareness to what you're doing. People can also see your website, inmyfatherskitchen.org, inmyfatherskitchen.org. Tell us a little bit about your journey as to how you became involved and started in My Father's Kitchen.
Yeah, so that's I'm going to try to make it as short as possible.
Sure,
it's a big story to unpack. Basically, it's my faith part of my life as clergy, intersecting with my natural talents as a chef. Based on an encounter I had with a gentleman holding a cardboard sign back in 2011. It changed my life forever. So I thought I was doing something noble and nice to help someone, and then I leave that encounter personally changed, challenged, and my wife and I made a decision to leave restaurant world behind and to do this work. And I started doing it out of our house with my little car and my talent as a chef, and now here we are 12 years later, helping our friends that are outside who feel invisible.
Yeah. And there are a lot of your friends around town, and, just about every corner you see somebody. Where was I recently where I said to the wife, geez, I wonder if John knows this person.
Market Diner.
Well, there's that one. Yeah. And I'll tell that story. But
that's a good story to tell.
There was another place where I saw somebody and I said, geez, I don't normally see somebody with a sign there.
Seems like those folks have leaked to the suburbs.
Yeah, so that was where it was, Steve. I was going to Great Northern.
I was up by me.
Yeah, I was up by you.
Yeah, right in the
and
corner,
I came off of 481. Yeah, that's that one.
Yeah, so we don't travel that far out. We stay within the city limits ourselves. Rescue Mission does a periphery of the county. But yeah, so like John Glenn Boulevard's another one in 57. There's another popular spot. But really rare. I mean, it does happen from time to time. There was a call a while back for someone living in Baldwinsville outside, but it's usually one person. We have a guy living over in Wideswaters Parkway in that industrial area in a tent right now. That's kind of on the periphery.
There's an older woman that is in North Syracuse. From Manadale up towards on South Bay.
Yeah.
And she clearly has psychiatric issues. And in my heart, you're like,
we've reached out to her, and Rescue Mission has as well, and she doesn't want to know anything at all.
Right.
And there was another gentleman over the summer walking up by Chick-fil-A. There was a gentleman that was wandering up and down Route 11 as well. But mental health again, challenges. It's tough. But the suburbs it does happen, but not like it happens in the city.
What do you seek to do with your organization?
Yeah, so we do direct street outreach. So that means we bring out the meals, we bring out supplies, toiletries, clothing, like winter gear right now. Like today's freezing out, so we'll be out tomorrow with hats and gloves and scarves. But all those are just tools to build a rapport with people, to build this relationship, kind of like you guys having me on the air frequently, of getting the listeners to know who I am, telling a story, and building trust within a community. And that's what we do outside. So it's long-term goals, consistency over time, showing them like a no strings approach. And then when they're ready to make their surrender moments, we're standing there to help them navigate to wherever they need to go. We've now helped over 375 people into housing over the last 12 years.
Unpack that. Tell me a story of fruit that remains. And I know you've lost friends. I know you've lost lots of friends.
73. We lost one recently.
But who's counting?
Yeah,
you know
me.
What? Yeah, right. So tell me
a good story. So like Kevin, who works for me now. So Kevin's our right now we have a work crew out on the van. 9 people working today, making money instead of panhandling. Kevin is the supervisor of that van. He was a gentleman I met 9 years ago, hooked on crack cocaine, living outdoors, homeless. Took about 2 years to build that relationship that I talked about and trust. And then he bought into going into a rehab from there. I became his mentor. I kind of helped him navigate that whole 9-month program. He got out of there, graduated, became my right-hand man volunteering with me. We helped him get his first job. He worked for Capeco Paper. OIP, the guys who own OIP helped me out with him as well a lot. And then when Higher Ground was developed for us, I thought of Kevin immediately would be the greatest employee to have, someone who's made the turnaround, and he graciously accepted the position. And now he's been working for us 5 years now.
Wow.
And reunited with his family, helping raise his granddaughter.
Nice.
I mean, he's gainfully employed, has his own car. It's just a miracle. And it all started with a meal. And giving him things and coming with no strings approach. And then when he was ready to make his move, we were there ready to help him.
How do you find these people? Like, are you just like trolling around the streets until you see somebody?
In the beginning, it was more like that, but now it's been word of mouth. Like now we're engaging folks that are like in campsites or standing on a corner that we see regularly, and they'll tell us about another person. There's a new person. Yeah. Or they'll call me now, I'm getting cold calls from folks. I'm outside living in an abandoned house. I need help, and then we'll engage them. And now with the medical team that we have that's embedded with us, the medical portion of what we do has really helped us go to a whole nother level with getting people to trust.
What if someone had a perspective of, well, look, all they're doing is enabling people that are out there, they're drug addicts. And, they're just enabling, they're just allowing them to do that when really those people should hit bottoms, because if they hit bottom, then maybe they can turn around. How do you mitigate that?
Yeah. So I would say enabling, no, because we're not giving money. We're helping them. Like if your friend in your neighborhood is jammed up because of something, whether it was a bad decision they made, your next door neighbor, or consequences of life, and they reach out to you and you're your friend, are you going to help them? Of course. Even though he might have made a bad choice or she made a bad choice, you're still going to help them navigate to success. And for me, it's like they've made some bad choices. Now they're hooked on chemicals that are running through their bodies that you just can't stop. So we go out and we love them. We love them. My mission is like, love never fails. I don't know when the win is going to happen, but we're going to be standing there when they finally say, I'm ready to go.
Yeah. And you've had some wins.
Lots of wins, lots of tragedies, and there's still some people I'm waiting for some wins to happen. So.
I had called John myself, Steve, the other day, and I got together with a friend, and we were at the, what was it called, the regional market diner?
Yeah, the market diner. Yeah.
And I saw a woman come in. And she was notably upset. She was asking for a coffee. I don't know what the deal was, but they asked her to leave politely. She wouldn't leave, and then she was throwing some dollars and change at them. And I thought, geez, could I buy her something? So I don't know what the heck was going on. But anyway, they kicked her out of the place.
Yeah, we've seen her the next day.
Yeah, and she was just roaming around. It was really cold. So I called John and I said, gosh, I saw this woman. I don't know if this is in your purview. But,
Oh, yeah. We knew her in addiction, some mental health. And then
Ashley was her name.
Right. And then I sent you a picture of what she looked like prior to that.
Oh, my God. Steve, she was beautiful.
Yeah.
So beautiful. You would think she was a model for collegiate.
And that's what happens, the hardcore life of living outdoors.
I think it's awesome. And quickly, in my father's kitchen, the folks on YouTube can see it. Pasta sauce available at what stores?
Wegmans and many other specialty stores within the community. Go to the website, to the Taste and See tab, and you'll be able to find all the locations.
Or you can buy it by the case even over in my father's kitchen. They can
get it from me directly.
And it supports the ministry and changes lives. Yes,
that's right. Building hope and changing lives.
John, we love you, and we love what you guys do over there. So thank you for being out in the community.
Thank you. I appreciate it, guys.
All right. John Tomino right there, co-founder of In My Father's Kitchen. Bob Griffin is coming up next. He's the regional director of the New York Small Business Development Center. We're going to find out what's going on over there and get him on board with Zoey.
There we go. Absolutely.
Stay tuned on 570 WSYR.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Well, if you found us, that means you found us, and that means we're here too. So both of us are all here and ready to go.
We're here anyway, Tom.
Oh, we were? Yeah, you got me there.
I popped over our friends at Safe Harbor Was Entrusted a workshop this last week.
Oh, they let you in?
They did. But guess what? I didn't get a seat because it was wall to wall.
Was it really? Did you at least get a cookie?
They had. I'm trying to follow your lead, not eat too many carbs.
Okay.
but they were teaching how to protect your home and life savings, and a lot of questions. People were like, "Oh, I have a question," or "What about this kind of trust?" or "What about this?" Well,
did they have answers?
They did have answers, and that's John's thing, right? And the team over there. So they did that. If you didn't make it, and you still want to protect your home and life savings, or maybe just update your will, give them a call. Safe Harbor, 370-9977. 370-9977. John Murphy and the team over at safeharborwillsandtrust.com. Tom.
All right. Somebody new to the show is Bob Griffin. He's the regional director of the New York Small Business Development Center. How are you there, Bob?
Outstanding. Thank you very much for having me.
Well, it's good to see you and meet you in person. Bob, are you from Syracuse? Are you originally from here? Or?
I am not. I'm an immigrant from Texas.
Oh, wow.
But lived in the Southern Tier for over 25 years.
No kidding.
And then recently moved up here in September of 22 after taking over as the regional director of the center here at Onondaga Community College.
Okay.
Why'd you want to do that? You're going the wrong way.
Honestly, it has been one of the greatest moves I've ever made.
Oh, nice.
Couldn't be happier with where we're at and where we're going.
Were you down in Binghamton? Or
I was.
Yeah, okay,
I was a business advisor down at Binghamton University for over 4 years.
That's a big gig. You know, Binghamton is no slouch as a university is concerned.
No, it's a great institution, and really enjoyed my time there.
Yeah, nice.
So why'd you do it? Why'd you come here?
Well, first I want to know what his background is.
I got a better question. What's your background?
Yeah,
there you go.
Did you go to school for this sort of stuff? What's your educational background?
So I was a graduate in Bachelor's of Business Administration from Angelo State University out in West Texas.
Okay.
A small school. And so I've kind of been affiliated with business all my life.
I see.
I was the director of tourism for Tioga County. Ran that agency for a bit, and then spent about 15 years after that in the hospitality industry, primarily in food service, hotels, casinos, all in business leadership roles.
I see. Around the area, around New York State, or
around New York State. Although at one point I had a regional territory that went from like Connecticut to Ohio to Virginia, and I killed a lot of bugs.
Yeah, right.
And a lot of cars.
And a lot of cars. Yeah, I went through my fair share of cars.
Goodness.
Lost track at one point. And then in 2018, I had the opportunity to apply for the job of being a business advisor at Binghamton University. And what's really interesting about this is that when I was in school, I had an internship working for the economics department at Angelo State, and my cubicle was right next to the Small Business Development Center. And I used to listen to the director of that center talk about the things that they did. And I remember thinking then, how fun would it be to do that someday?
Right.
And I got to do it. And honestly, I have never looked back. It's been one of the greatest decisions I ever made.
Well, Joan Powers was up there for quite a while.
She was. Yeah, she was up there for a very long time. I think cumulatively, she was there for about 20 years or so.
Okay.
And that's who you took over for?
Correct.
Oh, okay. Great.
Yep.
Well, then I won't ask about her. No longer there.
How about Dan Rickman?
Dan's still around. Absolutely. Dan's the director of the Small Business Administration district office now here in Syracuse, and a fantastic partner. Good supporter of SBDCs, and Dan and I have a fantastic working relationship.
He was here a month or two ago. We had him on the show.
Excellent. Yeah, Dan's great. I really enjoy him.
Yeah, we were busting him saying, I remember you when you were just a kid. Now he's a big shot.
I'm sure he loved hearing that.
So as the regional director, what is your role? What do you do day to day?
A lot of it is programming, outreach, engagement, opportunities like this when they do arise. I spend a lot of time working with economic development agencies, county agencies, and other organizations, really trying to help be an active part of the economic development ecosystem. Our role really is that of the pure technical assistance provider. Like, you're not going to see our name attached to the $10 million project with the 500 jobs, typically.
Okay.
We deal with the smaller entrepreneurs, the smaller businesses, maybe 100 employees or less. I mean, not that we can't work with larger businesses, but that's not what we do. That's not really our bread and butter. And from a regional perspective, we fill a good core niche that supports all of those other economic development agencies and the work that they're doing in their various counties.
So somebody like one of our clients, relatively new client, Blake Jewelers, you know, she's a one-person operation at this point, looking to maybe hire some people. What would you do for her? You know, coming into town, she came from Rochester. She has a place out in Township 5. Give me an example of why she would come to you.
Well, you know, let's if she's just starting out, you know, sometimes there are things that new entrepreneurs miss, right? Whether it's a legal detail or a compliance detail, or maybe they could do, you know, some work around building out their financial management system a little better, or, you know, maybe they got some HR opportunities that they could learn from us. So what we would do is we would kind of assess the situation, understand kind of what her goals would be, and then we would try to work out some kind of plan for her to help achieve those goals. And sometimes they're long-term. Some clients we've had for years. I've got a client that I still work with that he and I started working down in Binghamton in 2018.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, I think that relationship will probably continue for years to come because I continue to provide value to him as he's going through his entrepreneurial journey.
So what do you do? Like, if you can't be more specific, you're still talking to him 7 years later.
Yeah.
Did he start? Did he get out of the blocks?
Does he have to pay you?
Yeah, so, and that's a great segue. So when folks ask me about what the center does and how we do it, we provide no-cost confidential business advisement services to existing and aspiring entrepreneurs at all stages of the business life cycle, whether it's startup, expansion and growth, to maturity, to succession planning, every point in between. And we cover everything, you know, marketing, HR, finance, you know, compliance, you know, expansion, that kind of thing. Access to capital is a huge area that we spend a lot of time in. The way I really sum it up is this: we help people make informed decisions and take informed action. We provide them guidance, tools, resources so that they can do for themselves. And we just help them along the way. And so if I'm still talking to Anthony 7 years from now, chances are he will have gone through an expansion. And hopefully by that point, we're now talking about succession planning. How do we help his business continue on under new ownership so that, you know, his employees continue to have jobs and the business continues to grow, because that's natural, right, for businesses.
So you're like a big brother or a coach or something like that?
I think a coach is a very good word for it.
Okay.
You know, or a guide. I mean, you know, that's really kind of that niche that we fill. You know, the whispering in the ear, you know, kind of thing.
And how do people pay for this? Is it a free service? It
is at no cost to the taxpayers. We're funded through a grant from the U.S. Small Business Administration, as well as some funds from New York State and our host institutions. We're actually hosted by both Onondaga Community College and Jefferson Community College in Watertown, because we go all the way from Cortland to Alexandria Bay and from Geneva all the way over to Hamilton.
Well, that's wonderful.
There's nothing in Alex Bay this time of year. It is crickets. Do you keep people from making stupid decisions at all? I don't know if that's too direct, but
no, that's a fair question. I think 80% of what we do is to help save people from themselves. And, you know, part of it is because maybe they're not ready, or they just don't have enough knowledge, you know, or they are about to make a major mistake. And, you know, I think that still has value. I mean, we're never going to get credit for how many homes we save or marriages we save or life savings that we help prevent disappearing. But we know it happens. And I think that's still an extremely valuable part of the advisement relationship with people.
Have you experienced any of the impact of even the whisper of Micron coming to town?
Yeah, a lot of people are trying to position in advance of that. A lot of folks who are interested in government contract opportunities that may come as a result of that. Also on how to be prepared to do business with a big company like Micron. So yes, we are beginning to see some of that.
Excellent. Well, Bob Griffin, right there, Regional Director of the New York Small Business Development Center over there on the Onondaga Community Campus. So it's not too far away. People can get up there and see you. They have access to you and your whole team, right?
Yep.
They do.
Okay, great. All right. Well, Bob, why don't you stick around, because we got more to talk to you about. If you don't mind.
Oh, absolutely. Happy to do it.
Okay, great. So we'll have more of a conversation. Folks, stick around right here on The Local Show on 570 WSYR and on YouTube at Zoey Advertising.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back to The Local Show. We're broadcasting from the Zoey Advertising Studios, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trust. You can see us on YouTube at Zoey Advertising. Go check that out. Right now we are speaking with Bob Griffin. He's the Regional Director of the New York Small Business Development Center over there on the OCC campus.
Tom.
Yes.
Tom. You know what happens about every week?
Every week where?
About every week here at Zoey.
At Zoey? No.
More or less. Every other. We have businesses that call that aren't ready to do sales and marketing because they haven't got out of the blocks yet. Mm-hmm. They'll call and say, we want to run some ads. What do you do? Well, we're starting a business. And we say, you know what? And we'll talk and encourage them. But then we send them up to you guys. We say, there's a program up at OCC. Mm-hmm. It's called the Small Business Development Center. And they're going to teach you some principles. And they're going to answer questions. When you're done with them, come on back. We'd love to have you, but don't do it yet. Right. Do people ready, shoot, aim when they go to start a business?
All the time.
All the time.
All the time.
Really?
Absolutely.
How do you keep people from doing that?
That's not our role. I mean, they have to have the wherewithal to come to us and acknowledge that they need some assistance. And the reality is that we've dealt with business owners who've been at it for 20 or 30 years. Who probably could have used us 30 years ago, right? Because they're suffering now. And some of those ripple effects can last for a very long time for a business that doesn't get off the right way. So absolutely, we deal with it all.
Did you ever hear, I wish I knew about you guys. I wish you knew where you were here. Do you ever hear that?
A time or two.
Yeah, right? Because I wouldn't have done this.
Yes. Yeah. But, and the thing is, right now, we don't technically have, I don't think, a marketing problem. We have an awareness problem, which I think is a very different kind of problem to have. We are the second busiest center in New York State. Right now, we serve, this past year, we served about 1,700 clients, which is a big number. 1,000 of them were brand new, so people who have never dealt with us before. This year, we're already well on pace to beat that. We've already worked with over 900 clients since October 1st. So people are finding us, and I think it's partly because of the fact that we've been having conversations with community partners about the services that we provide and how we can help.
So the fast track to business, I think that's what I was part of a few years back where I talked about marketing stuff. I went up a few different times and you had a room full of people that were sort of starting businesses and maybe they were a little farther along and we got to talk about marketing. So you have that is coming up here in the next month or two, right?
Yeah, so we do that about 6 or 7 times a year, usually 3 times virtual. So we have a virtual one coming up in March. And then we do them also in person. We have one in-person one taking place in Auburn in April, and we have another in-person one taking place in May at our headquarters there on Onondaga Community College's campus. And then we'll continue to do them throughout the year. And really, Fast Track is a 3-day intensive. We cover all of the basics that one would need. It's about 21 hours worth of education.
Who qualifies for this? Is this anybody can jump in, or or do people have to just be starting, or they have to be in business already? What can they do?
Anybody. And we do have existing business owners that go through it kind of as a refresher, or hey, I skipped about 12 steps. It happens, and they find value in it. Existing business owners find value in that. So yes, anybody who is interested in learning more or getting a refresher is absolutely welcome.
George Powers is part of that, isn't he?
He has been around for a long time helping us out.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, when I see George, I'm going to say, you said he was old. He's been around a long time. But he's a regular here. And
I thought that was supposed to be our secret.
Yeah, so George is a regular with us.
George is fantastic.
Here, and George is fantastic. So as I look at the elements here, business plan development, is that what you have to do to borrow money? Is that what that is?
Usually you need a business plan to borrow money, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now, you don't supply that service, though.
No, what we do is we provide them the tools for them to be able to do it themselves, and then we guide them through that process. Mm-hmm. So we can even help them do edits.
So you would review somebody's business plan? Okay.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Interesting. Yeah. And then do you have any other types of training up there? Like if somebody wanted to learn a specific thing, like say marketing or something?
Yep. So this year we've got a very aggressive training calendar. A lot of it's virtual to provide access to. We have a very diverse region. A lot of it's rural. So folks aren't always going to be able to come to Syracuse. So we do a lot of virtual trainings. We have one coming up on marketing. We have one on selecting your business form. We just had one about 2 weeks ago on basic bookkeeping. So we vary the topics throughout the course of the year, and those are all advertised on our website, onondagasbdc.org.
Where do you find the experts for that?
It's a mix. I've got 8 really talented people on our staff who have an immense wealth of knowledge and experience on their own. And then we work with a lot of community partners and other businesses who have specialties in certain areas. So we have a digital marketing professional, for example, who's doing our digital marketing workshop later this month. And so, he's doing that as a courtesy to the folks that we serve. And we're grateful for the folks that do that with us.
Right. Is New York a great place to start a business?
Next question. Listen, every state has their challenges, right?
Okay.
And every municipality has their challenges, and some are more difficult than others, and some of it's based on industry, so it really depends. I think that New York does a lot of great things for business. I do think that there are challenges, and they typically fall in regulatory and compliance that make it difficult for people to start businesses, and that's where we can help, because we can help people navigate some of those challenges. But, again, it really depends on the kind of business, where you want to set up shop, and some places are harder than others.
So, honest answer, have you ever looked anybody in the eyes and said, that idea you have, that's really stupid?
Not one time.
Tell me more.
I might have been thinking it. I've never, ever told anybody that. And here's why. I don't necessarily like to crush the dream.
Oh, okay.
But what I do like to do is provide them the information so that they can arrive at that conclusion on their own. And all of our business advisors take the same approach. Even though we may want to tell them, you really don't want to do that, that's a nutty idea, we'll never, ever tell anybody that. It's, here's the process, work through the process, and then they'll figure it out, especially when they realize they'll never make any money at it.
Well, and sometimes you don't know if something's going to be, awful. Take Uber, for instance. Mm-hmm. I'm still shocked when I first heard that people, just general consumers, are driving their, Hyundai around and slapping a little sticker on it and saying, "I'll pick you up." I'm thinking nobody's going to go for that. There's going to be crime. There's going to be people won't trust them. All these kinds of issues. Uber and Lyft are huge. Yeah, I would have told somebody to forget about it.
It was a brilliant idea, and the reason it was a brilliant idea was because of the technology.
Yeah.
Right. The timing, perfect.
It was all about the technology. It was the right technology at the right time, and that's why that business model worked. And I feel bad for cab companies who are way behind the 8 ball on this.
Yeah, I guess the show Taxi wouldn't have made it.
No, to call Uber.
Yeah,
I think some people, and correct me if you have a different opinion, have a job. They're good at doing something. They're a technician, and they say, you know what? I'm really good at this. I can run a business, but they don't think of it as a business. They charge think about it as being a job. So they say, well, I can make X per hour. Well, not if you hire someone. And I think there's a gap there. Do you ever see that?
Yeah. I mean, that's to be expected, because when people come to us with a business idea, it's not because they necessarily want to be a business owner. It's because they want to follow their passion and do something that means something to them. Mm-hmm. And they have fun doing the work that they're doing, that they're making or creating or whatever. That's what they just want to do. And for them, the business is the vehicle by which they can do it and provide for themselves in the process. We can help teach them about not only how they can leverage that passion into a business, but how to be smart about being a business owner and to think long term and to manage the process and so on going forward.
So I am thrilled when I hear people say, we're going up to the SBDC, because I know they're going to get some wisdom, probably make less mistakes. They still got to, fly their own flag. Absolutely. And so the program's up there. I can go to Onondaga SBDC and I can see the fast track or whatever the things are to get engaged.
That's a .org, by the way.
It's a .org. Thank you very much, Tom. And if I want to chat with someone, can I just call and talk, or would you rather people go to the website?
We try to encourage folks to go to the website. We have an intake process, and that intake process allows us the opportunity to pair the right client with the right advisor. And so we try to encourage them to go through that process first.
Yeah, so if you're thinking of starting a business, have a business, it's OnondagaSBDC.org. Tom.
There you go. Bob Griffin, thank you so much for what you do and all your people do up there.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right. Steve, that's going to wrap up the local show. No football for you. So you're going to have to find something else to do.
Maybe I'll watch golf and take a nap, Tom.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Golf, sure. Get the juices flowing. All right. On behalf of Zoey Advertising, Tom and Steve and the local show, God bless you and your families. Make some time to relax this weekend and exercise today and every day. Do it with a friend or family member. It's fun that way. It keeps the mind and body healthy. The local show is heard every Saturday morning from 11 to 1 and then again on Sunday morning from 7 to 9. Listen together with a friend. Until next week, get down to business and keep doing business locally. Tell your friends about the local show right here on 570 WSYR, 106.9 FM, the iHeartRadio app, and on YouTube at Zoey Advertising.